What's up guys, Boss here, and in today's video I'm going to try to win this grand challenge using Graveyard Freeze. So it's been a really long time since I made a video on Graveyard Freeze, but it's really good in this current meta because as you guys know, Mother Witch got a nerf, so you don't need to worry about having a big spell in a graveyard deck anymore to take out the Mother Witch because there's so much less people using it. So that's why you can now use it again with the Freeze instead of having to use it with a Fireball or a Poison. And then you also have the Ice Wizard in the deck, which as you guys know, got a buff. I mean, not a massive buff, but he is going to be a lot better on defense now, especially in certain situations, maybe if someone goes for minor bats, or if you're defending someone else's graveyard, you know, you have that spawn damage, or just in general on defense to get some extra slow on pushes. Inferno Drag to deal with tanks, Ewas as a reset, and then Valkyrie and Bowler both really solid in this meta because they're great counters to the Royal Hogs, which a lot of people are playing, and then Tornado just to pool everything together and help you defend. So before we head in the first game, if you guys would like to support me, as always, you can use my credit code BOSS in any Supercell game. Really appreciate all you guys doing that. Does mean a lot. But that being said, 8-0 right now. See you guys when I find the first game. Alright guys, in our first game here, so see what our starting hand's looking like. So the thing about this deck is because it overall is pretty expensive and you don't have many cheap cards in the deck, you want to play passively. Typically you want to react to what your opponent does and not make the first play until double. So he's going to go for Lava Hound. So this might actually be Lava Clone because we see the Flying Machine and then we see the Bats. So if that's the case, not going to be probably too horrible of a matchup because we have the Tornado and we of course have the, well yeah, the Tornado especially. So I'm gonna go Ewas here, and that was actually a bad clone because you see the Ewas actually dealt with everything, and yeah, even though he got a lot of damage, I mean, it was kind of unfortunate that I didn't wait to use my Tornado, but I didn't know if he was gonna clone or not, so that was actually kind of a, a pretty, I guess, pretty good clone on his in there. I gotta give him a little bit of credit, but we can definitely come back because the thing is he can't defend my graveyard pushes. He literally doesn't have any counter to them besides the Bats and the Skarmy, but those die to a Freeze and a Tornado, so with that in mind, it's gonna be pretty difficult for him. So I'm just gonna go Inferno Drag here and try to again deal with the Lava Hound. The Flying Machine's gonna lock on the Bowler. That's really good because now the Lava Hound's gonna get dealt with really easily. I'm just going to go for a Valkyrie here. We need to get a tank down for the Flying Machine. And then I'm going to go Ice Wizard. And then we can just freeze everything. And maybe go for a Tornado if I need to. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to clone. I feel like it would be a pretty bad clone if he decided to. And I'm going to go Ewas on top of the Flying Machine just so it doesn't deal too much damage to my tower. And this damage he got early on, it might seem, kind of scary. But honestly, I'm not too worried because, like I said, you can't really get any pushes going until double elixirs, but now that we're in double, we're going to be fine. So I can go for Inferno Drag, and then I'm going to go Valkyrie at the bridge in the other lane, and then probably go for a Graveyard. We're just going to try to get damage here. I'm going to go Graveyard. I'm just going to do it because I know that he doesn't have many counters to the Graveyard. You see, I can freeze the Baby Dragon. Bats are going to come in, but this means that the Inferno Drag, he doesn't have anything to support it, and you can see in just one Graveyard push, we actually managed to take the tower, and that is exactly what I was talking about how he doesn't have many counters to the Graveyard. He's going to go Lava Hound at the bridge, but he's only got 20 seconds, and I can go for a Freeze to freeze the Lava Hound and the Flying Machine right in his tracks. I will go for Tornado here. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to defend that. Yeah, we're not going to be able to, but now we're in a much better position than we were at the beginning of the game. We're actually, in a place where, we're not, like, down. We're actually in the lead, which is unlike the start where basically I was pretty much losing the whole time and fighting my way back, but like you just saw, it just takes pretty much one push, and he's going to give me a lot of value there with that. Ewas, I'm going to go Graveyard now, maybe a bad Lava Hound. I'm going to freeze and try to get a lot of damage because he just used the Skarmy, and look at the Flying Machine. That is not going to do any kind of, any kind of work there on top of that Graveyard. We take that tower, get the win there. Just took a little bit of patience, and that is what is important to have when you're using something like this deck. You cannot expect to get a massive lead early on. You have to react to what your opponent does and then hit them hard in double elixir as you saw there. So 9-0 right now, just 3 more wins to go, and I'll see you guys. All right, here we go. Found it immediately. So we're against Outplayed here. Hopefully, we end up outplaying him and he not the other way around. That would be unfortunate. He's going to say wow, so maybe he recognizes me. We'll give him the thumbs up. Why not? and we'll see what he wants to do. Because like I said, I don't really want to make the first play with this type of deck. There's never really going to be a cycle where you want to make the first play. I mean, really, maybe an Ice Wizard is okay to cycle, but it's just not good to cycle something like an E-Wiz or a Bowler. But, I mean, just for the sake of, not boring you guys too much, I might just cycle an E-Wiz in the back, just because I think when I have Bowler in my hand, it's pretty safe, because it's a pretty good defensive card that can defend just about anything, so it's probably fine. He's gonna go Baby Dragon. So Baby Dragon, pretty versatile card. I mean, it could be used in Lava Hound, like that Lava Clone guy was using. Fits well in that. It could also be used in Golem. It could be used in Electro Giant. Lots of, lots of decks it can fit in. So I go Valkyrie there just to protect that Ice Wizard, just to essentially force a pretty large response out of him, and he's going to go for the Queen. So if he's got Queen, Bar Barrel, and Baby Dragon, it probably means that he's going to be using either Electro Giant, Graveyard, or probably, I don't think it would be Golem. So I'm leaning towards it being Electro Giant or Graveyard. I would obviously hope that it's Graveyard, just because Electro Giant, it's kind of hard to defend. He's actually going to, miss the King activation. If he ended up getting it, it would have been so good for him, but he missed it, unfortunately. So kind of a tip here, you can freeze an Electro Giant, and the Inferno Drag is going to deal a massive amount of damage for it, and then the E-Wiz 2 stunning it at the same time, going to shut it down, I would say, rather well, considering the situation. And I'm actually here going to go Graveyard, because he was so aggressive with the Electro Giant, and I got the E-Wiz down, and Electro Giant decks do not have good counters to the Graveyard, especially since they don't use Mother Witch anymore. They used to have Mother Witch, but almost no one's using Electro Giant with Mother Witch anymore. I mean, Mother Witch is a lot worse now after the nerf she got, I have to say. Very noticeable, and, a lot of people are adapting to that, so that just means, again, why I'm saying Graveyard is, like, really, really good right now, and you don't need to have the Fireball or the Poison. So he's going to go for an Electro Giant. I'm going to go Inferno Drag here, and then I'll get ready to freeze it if he Tornadoes it in, which he probably will. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and freeze it and try to, take it out the best I can. I mean, he spent a lot of Elixir there. I'm going to Tornado it back, and, he's going to get some damage, but I just don't want it to be anything too significant. And then eventually we need to get a Graveyard going, and then I'm probably going to freeze with it. We actually could Graveyard now. He literally has no counters to the Graveyard besides Bar Barrel, pretty much, and if I freeze anything he drops, I don't think he can defend it. I mean, Baby Dragon, I'll freeze that, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. He can't do anything. That's what I'm saying. E-Giant decks have nothing to counter the Graveyard. So even if, you can't counter the Electro Giant, it's fine. You just make sure to keep the pressure up on them. I mean, your win condition is only 5 Elixir, right? Theirs is 8 Elixir, so just have that in the back of your mind. Play it kind of aggressively like I did, as soon as I, had the Elixir and support cards down, I was going for Graveyards, and they won't be able to defend it. So it's taking a little while to find this next one, so I'll see you guys when I find the third game. Okay, guys, next game here against Taki, or probably Taki, yeah. This guy's a pretty good Lava player. I don't know if he's using Lava in this Grand Challenge, but I know that that's his main deck that he plays on ladder, and he's very good with it, so definitely not going to be an easy match if he is running Lava, but we'll see what he's running. So I don't know if I really want to cycle anything, to tell you the truth, but if he waits a few more seconds, I think I'll just go ahead and cycle a Bowler, because I do have my Valk, and chances are, if he's waiting this long, he's probably not going to be playing some cycle deck where I could get punished for cycling a Bowler, so I'll just go ahead and cycle it. So we go Mega Minions, so yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards it being Lava. And, we got Inferno Drag for that, which is nice, but I'll go Inferno Drag now. He's going to go for the Skeleton Drags, and let's see if he... You know what I'm going to do, because I'm so confident it's Lava? I'm going to go Valkyrie, and then wait to see if he does something, and then I'll go Graveyard, because whatever he plays on it, I guess I could freeze, and we should get a lot of damage from it, I think, or it'll at least, kill the guards, and yeah, get a ton of damage, like I said. So I'm down Elixir, but because of all that damage I got, I think that was definitely worth it, especially if he doesn't support this Mega Minion at all. Okay, he is going to support it, which makes sense, honestly. I'm going to go Ice Wizard here, and then we're just going to go ahead and Tornado the Balloon to the King Tower, go for an Ewiz on top of the Skeleton Drags, and we got the better exchange of that, for sure. I mean, yeah, he did, you know, deal over 1,000 damage to my tower. I got more damage on his tower, and I got my king activated, so can't complain with that, and I was smart there, identifying that it was lava early on, based off of who it was, and the cards he played, and yeah, we took advantage of that. So Skeleton Dragons are out of hand. I'm going to go Graveyard, because the only counter he has to it is the guards, and I'm just going to freeze it anyway, so it literally doesn't matter, and we might be able to take the tower. If not, we'll at least deal a lot of damage to it like we did before. Ice Wizard on top of the... Oh, and we do take that tower. See what I'm saying? I mean, people just don't have graveyard counters nowadays for some reason. So I'm going to go Ewiz here on top of the Mega Minion and go for an Inferno Drag here for the lava, and we should be good to go. I mean, I think unless, you know, something cray-cray happens, we should be fine. We'll go for a freeze here, freezing everything. Fireball comes in, and just got to go Ice Wizard, and then we have so much, you know, slow in this deck. You got the Ice Wizard to slow, you got the E-Wiz, you got the Tornado, you got the freeze, just so much delay, right? Ice Wizard, freeze, Tornado, and E-Wiz. That's 4 cards, right? So half of your deck is essentially a card that's like slowing something down or delaying the flow of the game. And just to show you guys, I'm pretty sure that's the guy who's really good with lava. I could be wrong, but I think it's this. Yeah, as you can see, he finished 248th in the world last season and 56th as his best finish, and I'm pretty sure his main deck is lava. So you can see this deck does amazing against lava. Also, I'll show you guys that this deck is pretty solid. That I'll show you the person who this deck is actually based off of the person who got 76th in the world last season. You can see 7th in the world right now, so just some more proof for you guys that this deck is actually really insane right now in this current meta. So 11-0 right now, just need one more win and we can get the 12 win. Hopefully we can get that the clean 12-0. That's always exciting, you know, and we've been getting easy matchups, so if this is another easy matchup, chances are we'll, you know, probably be able to get it pretty easy. So he's gonna go Battle Ram in the back. First play of the game. When, you know, I see that, I'm, you know, already gonna assume it's P.E.K.K.A. Because nothing really else uses Battle Ram besides P.E.K.K.A. I mean, 3M used to, but not anymore. So we'll go Ice Wizard, and he's gonna Magic Archer, so probably gonna be P.E.K.K.A. Can be a little tricky, but overall not too bad. The reason why it can be a little tricky is because P.E.K.K.A. typically has E-Wiz, and that's a good counter to the Inferno Drag, so you gotta be careful for that. But besides that, I mean, not a lot of graveyard counters, so pretty much the last few games in this one, something is, you know, in common for all of them. They don't have, like, any graveyard counters. I mean, that's the thing. Now that Mother Witch is gone, graveyard is back, I guess, to being kind of broken from the looks of it. So we need to go for a very low Inferno Drag, because if he has an E-Wiz, which he probably does, we don't want to, you know, play it high up. I'm probably going to have to bowler here, because I knew he was going to zap, so I pretty much had to sacrifice a whole bowler just so the P.E.K.K.A. didn't get, like, you know, 2 shots on my tower, but I think that's worth it because, I mean, that's 2 P.E.K.K.A. hits that I would not really want to take. So I'm just going to Ice Wizard here, slow down the Battle Ram, and then Valk on top, and maybe Graveyard. I don't know if it's a good idea, but, you know, I probably should have Graveyard there. Yeah, not gonna lie, I probably should have, but it's okay. Maybe I'll just try to NATO the Bandit to the King Tower, so that way I don't... There we go, that's good. And he's just gonna go, yeah, for his E-Wiz on top. It's fine, I think it's fine that I didn't Graveyard. It's better to just wait and be patient. So E-Wiz and P.E.K.K.A. there. Valk's gonna get some great value on top of that. Wow. I mean, that's why in my recent tier list video, I ranked the Valkyrie in S tier. I mean, it's ridiculous how much value she gets. So we're going to go Bowler and Graveyard here aggressively because he was so aggressive with his P.E.K.K.A. Really nice Magic Archer on his end. He's going to be able to snipe it from afar, and I'm unable to freeze it, so I'm actually not even going to freeze it. I'm going to wait till I get another opportunity to do so. I might have to NATO the Ghost to the King Tower because I don't really have a solid response for it in rotation. He's probably going to go E-Wiz. Yeah, he does, so we'll go Bowler here. And then he might go Battle Ram at the bridge in the opposite lane, or he's actually going P.E.K.K.A in the back, okay. So, yeah, this game is not going too well, but I think the longer the game goes on, I want to guess and say that it gets better for us, but I don't really know for sure. I'm going to have to E-Wiz here to slow down the Battle Ram, and then if he E-Wizzes, we're going to have to freeze this, so this way we can still take out the, you know, the P.E.K.K.A and also the E-Wiz. That was actually really clutch. Okay, this is actually really good. That was super aggressive on his end, so this is finally our chance to go for a Graveyard. And the Bandit is gonna get wiped out by the Inferno Drag, and there we go, guys. That's what we wanted to see. He was so aggressive. We're finally getting a ton of damage. Free's gonna come in. Is it too late? Too late. It was barely too late, unfortunately. However, we will still get some significant damage on top of his tower, and I can't say it's a bad freeze because even though, you know, we didn't get damage with the Graveyard, still got a ton of damage from the, you know, Bowler and the E-Wiz and a ton of value out of them, at the very least. I'm going to freeze this. We have to be aggressive, get some damage, and the P.E.K.K.A isn't that good against the Graveyard, and, you know, while he has to worry about the Graveyard, we can kind of deal with the P.E.K.K.A. He's going to go 2 P.E.K.K.As, so I have to say, this is actually not looking too good. I'm going to go Defensive Graveyard here to help defend, because it's a solid distraction to the P.E.K.K.As. It's not something you really want to have to do, it's kind of a last resort, but I think, you know, we kind of do have to, but I think that is gonna be GG. I can't stop the Battle Ram, and yeah, even if I, you know, he would have just Fireball Zap. So yeah, kind of tough matchup. Like I said early on, you know, the problem is that he had E-Wiz for the Inferno Drag, and also the Magic Archers that he played behind his tower, I couldn't really do anything about that. There was, like, practically no way I could Tornado it without activating the King Tower. I can't freeze it in the tower, so definitely I would say a bad matchup, but he still played it pretty well, so I can't really, you know, complain that much. But anyway, in our next one here, hopefully we can win this, but we're actually against another, I think, pretty good player. This is Rex. I'm pretty sure he uses Log Bait, and he's really good at it. I hope he's not using Log Bait, because Log Bait is kind of tough for this deck since you don't have any, like, solid counter to it, because you don't have any small spell, but it looks like he's not using Log Bait. He's using something else, which is good. So he's going to go Ghost. I'm probably just going to Tornado that to the King Tower just to, you know, get it activated and help us out throughout the match, because depending on what he's using, we could get a lot of value because of that, so it's definitely worth it. So I'm going to go Queen. So Queen, Bandit, Ghost, not entirely sure just yet what this is. That was kind of an aggressive Ram Rider. I'm going to freeze that and then go Bowler, because, I mean, it's going to deal with it well, and he's going to activate the Queen's ability, and the Queen will get some solid value, but luckily the Bowler will stay alive, so we'll get a tiny bit of counter push. And yeah, I guess he's using Mega Knight. So, because we see the Bats, we see the Ghost, we see the Bandit, so yeah, I think it's Mega Knight. Either Lightning or Fireball, probably. I don't think they usually have Poison, which is good, because we're using Graveyard, so Poison would be kind of a nuisance. Fireball, though, is not bad either, because it does kill an E-Wiz, but we'll go Valkyrie here, and see what he does. I guess I'll E-Wiz the Ghost, just because it would have gotten, you know, probably 2 shots on the tower. And this Queen, I think I'll actually Tornado it. Perfect. We kind of predicted the activation, so his activation pretty much did nothing. It was a complete waste of Elixir, and we're in a good situation. We didn't take any damage for the most part. We got the King activated, and we got a Bowler approaching, so I was maybe going to Graveyard, but I decided not to. I think we should wait just a little bit longer. I'll go Valkyrie here, though, and then I'm going to go Inferno Drag, because I bet you he's probably going to... Oh, I thought he was actually going to Mega Knight, so that was actually smart Lightning on his end. So now I just have to reset and just not go for a push now, because, like I said, that was a solid Lightning. We'll just focus on defense a little bit longer, I think, before we apply pressure. I mean, maybe we could actually go opposite lane, but let's just wait a little bit for now. Oh, actually, that was good that he went for the bats there because that's going to give us tornado value. And then let's not do anything else on defense. Let's just focus on offense because he doesn't have that many graveyard counters, I don't think. And unlike the last guy who had the magic archer, he could play, you know, very far behind. He has to play everything into the graveyard, which I'm able to freeze, which is, you know, very good for me, obviously. I'm going to go for an high Ewiz here so he's unable to lightning. Nice. That's really, really good. That's exactly why I did that, because I knew he would maybe try to lightning the Ice Wizard, knowing I had to drop something else too, but I played it out of range so he couldn't hit everything, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm going to go for a Valkyrie here on top of the Queen, and then we're going to go for an Inferno Drag, and then we're going to go for a Graveyard here. He's probably going to go for Bats, which we most likely will have to Tornado. Well, let's actually Tornado this, and then go for a freeze. Hopefully we get it down in time. We do, but he plays the bats pretty late, so he is going to survive. But, I mean, he takes a ton of damage, and yeah, overall things are just looking better and better for us. We're going to go once again for a high Ice Wizard, so he's unable to lightning it in the tower, and we'll go for an Inferno Drag, and he's going to go for a Mega Knight in the back, but I think I'm actually going to play into it just because we can freeze it, and we'll still get a ton of damage even if we don't end up, you know, taking the tower. But we'll go Tornado here to pull away the... oh, this push is going to be a little scary, I think. But the Inferno Drag is going to come in clutch and completely take out the Mega Knight there, so that's amazing. I'm going to go Graveyard just to pressure, so this way he can't support the push as much as he would have liked, and then freeze it. And then hopefully this is finally... There we go. We are able to get the win there. And I would say a matchup that is relatively easy because kind of like a lot of the previous games, no counter to the graveyard. And the reason that made that so much easier than the last game is because even though my defense is really solid against both of the decks, this one... he didn't have a magic archer, right? Unlike this P.E.K.K.A player that he could play behind the king tower, which was so good against the graveyards, you know, picking off the graveyards. I couldn't freeze it, but everything that this guy had, he had to play next to the graveyard, which I was able to freeze and of course get so much tower damage and of course deal so much damage to those units. So we are able to get the 12 in 1, guys. Really, really nice. So let's go ahead and open up the chest here. Hopefully we get a champion. I think you only have like a 5% chance of getting a champion from, you know, a GC chest, but who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. And it looks like we won't even get a legendary, so yeah. But anyway, hope you guys did end up enjoying the video. Obviously, I couldn't play this on ladder because of my card levels, but in my next video, I'll try to make it a ladder video, maybe use something that I have leveled up for ladder. But yeah, make sure to like if you guys did end up enjoying it, subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already. Really close to 100,000 subscribers, really do appreciate that. It's kind of insane to think, and yeah, thanks again. Until next time, guys.